National Guard.
I see my name in shining lights, yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
And we are all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. That's right. It's a live show. You can call into the beautiful studio here in Elk Grove Village, 312-642-5600. And be sure to check out our sponsors, Tandem HR. They are our solution center. You can check out their beautiful new website, great blog, great content, great information there, tandemhr.com. Or give them a call, 630-928-0510. So a jam-packed lineup we have. My first guest is joining me here in studio. I'm thrilled to be joined by Sam Terese, who is the CEO of Alverno Laboratories. Sam, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Shalom. I really appreciate being here.
Absolutely. So, Sam, our listeners know I always love to get to know the person behind the microphone first, and then we'll certainly have our opportunity to talk about Alverno. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been around diagnostic laboratories for my entire career, but beyond that, I have a beautiful wife, 3 grown children, and 1 grandchild. So,
and we can't forget the 70-pound golden doodle, Bella.
Nobody can forget Bella. She makes sure of that.
Well, being a lover of golden doodles, which we just started talking about, I can relate. So, Sam, you, as you said, you've been in this world. As I understand, you've risen the ranks from vice president, CEO in a company that values quality service. Let's talk a little bit about that and talk about the growth for you personally and growth as a company.
Well, I'd like to share a little bit about Alverno Laboratories. The diagnostic laboratories are not something everybody's really terribly familiar with. But it is probably something that just about everybody has experienced at some point in their life. Some of the very earliest tests that you have are just after birth, where we rule out things like, I can't remember the disease, phenylketonuria, I believe, is a PKU test. But really it's part of that kind of behind-the-scenes world of healthcare, where it's there, and so many decisions are being made using laboratory tests and the technologies that exist in laboratories today.
Absolutely, and you pride yourself on not being just about the test tubes and the reports. Let's talk a little bit about your approach and why you stand out. You mentioned that diagnostic testing is something that everybody experiences at some point. What makes Alverno different?
Well, I think it's that commitment we bring, because it's not really a test that we do, but it's really treating a patient or helping with a patient. So it's not about a test tube of blood. It's really about the patient behind that. From a quality perspective, we are an ISO-certified laboratory, one of only a handful that exists in the country. And so I think we bring that kind of mission and vision throughout our organization, which has grown quite a bit over the last several years.
And so growth, indeed. You now operate how many laboratories and in which areas?
So today we actually operate and own over 36 hospital laboratories all throughout Illinois and Indiana. As well as a very large central laboratory just over the border in Hammond, Indiana.
Oh, wow, fantastic. So you're servicing many, many people, all stages of life?
Absolutely. As I said, I mean, testing starts from infancy all the way up to the geriatric patient. Just about every person, group, disease is really part of who we provide care to.
Absolutely. And Sam, I know that we talked earlier that you are now the CEO of Alverno, and you've been in this diagnostic space for quite a while. But let's talk about the people behind those 36 hospital laboratories. You've got a lot of people behind the scenes providing that level of quality and providing that level of service. Tell us a little bit about your team.
Well, I mean, the team overall is quite large. So in Alverno today, there's well over 2,100 associates involved in the laboratory. They're spread across maybe 120 locations, from those folks that collect your blood when you go in for a test to those that live behind the scenes and doing just an amazing job with the sheer volume of testing that we do each and every day.
And in today's day and age, there is significant advancement and improvement in technology. Sam, how do you see your line of work changing over the coming years? What's your prediction or forecast for Alverno over perhaps the next 10 years?
Oh, my. I mean, I think the level of technology in the laboratory world is quite phenomenal. For most, everybody kind of has that picture of somebody with a test tube kind of looking for that reaction. Well, today it involves significant levels of robotics, significant levels of automation, massive array of different technologies. Probably some of the more cutting edge that I think are going to influence the future of the laboratory over the next decade are really in the areas of kind of digital pathology, for example. It's kind of that state where we're moving away from, the best technology is, we always take pictures with our camera and run them to the drugstore. And now today, we don't do that anymore. It's all electronic. And then from a testing perspective, it's really starting to look at a person's DNA or the DNA of a tumor or a disease and really honing in on what the diagnosis is and hopefully the treatment and improving the outcome for patients.
And you started at Alverno, Sam, in 2005 as vice president in charge of hospital operations. Have you seen that advancement during your time in the company?
Definitely. And I've had the great and amazing pleasure to actually lead that transformation. So Alverno is at that cutting edge, particularly precision medicine or sequencing or DNA space, along with digital pathology. So I've had that great pleasure to not only see it, but actually kind of help drive that in the organization.
Absolutely. So then, Sam, you became the CEO in 2010, and we are the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. So for our small business owners that might be tuning in tonight, people are no doubt curious, what's the most rewarding thing that you experience in your typical day as a CEO? And perhaps if I could venture just a little bit further, what's the most challenging part of your day?
Sure. Yeah, it's for those starting out, it's great to find something that you're passionate about and you want to get up and do each and every day. That you're not sitting in bed saying, "Oh, gee, I don't want to go to work or the office today." But if you're passionate about it, that never happens. I think the most rewarding things we see or I see as you kind of try to mentor and develop people as you watch them make that step or take on that project or that new initiative and actually see them have success. There's nothing more special than to see people really evolve in their career and continue to grow, along with some of the amazing successes and the stories you'll hear when you develop a new test or a new test is out there and physician is using it and you actually see a real outcome where you potentially saved a life or influenced the care of patients.
Absolutely.
The challenges, I don't know that I'd call them challenges. Let's just say they're opportunities. I know that's rather cliche to say, but the reality is there's always challenges. In this day and age, finding people is a significant challenge, not only finding them, but finding the right ones.
Well, we'll have to leave it there because, believe it or not, we are just about out of time. And that challenge is, as you said, an opportunity because You are a growing company, and you're always looking for people. If people are curious to learn more about Alverno Laboratories or want to talk to you or your team further, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can always go to our website, www.alvernolabs.com. There's ways to connect with all of our leaders, look at career opportunities. Also, I'm pretty sure my email address is there as well. You can always call my office, area code 219-989-3814.
Fantastic.
I do return messages whenever possible. It might take me a day or two.
Well, Sam Terese, the CEO of Alverno Laboratories, thanks so much for coming in and sharing your story, the fantastic growth story of Alverno Laboratories. We appreciate you coming in. Look forward to following your success here on Get Down to Business.
Thanks for having me, Shalom.
Coming up after the break, I'm going to be chatting with Lee Eisenstadt, and we'll be talking more about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. You're listening to Get Down to Business. Don't touch that dial. Chicago will be right back.
Sean Hannity